Want to pin it to the top, Sam?
Sure, Matt. Do we have like an intro video?
We do.
All right, we'll wait for people to log on and then get it rolling so they know it's about to start. Ooh. I can hear myself.
Yeah, it was me. I forgot to turn my phone down.
Pin to featured. You excited, RJ?
Oh yeah.
How do you want me to introduce you? Like, am I allowed to use your first and last name, or do you not want to be associated with your trolling?
No. I honestly, I wanted to change it back to RJ Ellison so everybody knows me. You know.
Go ahead.
Oh, don't worry. I will make sure I introduce you then. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to. You know, somebody tag. Hold on. Who have you been making mad? Is it Tesmer?
No, actually, what's weird is me and Tesmer are like best friends.
Okay.
It's like,
y'all posting up time. The whole group is nothing but RJ Ellison and Michael Tesmer group. That's all it is.
Y'all are best friends.
I'm not gonna lie.
Let me tell you,
me and him never got into it. Like for us.
Oh my God, like, Matt Grieve. Look what my friend just tagged me in, or Chandel just tagged me in. It's so accurate. That's Jacksonville. Riverside is like the artsy side of town.
Yeah.
And 103rd's like the hood. So funny.
Hey,
one of the many hoods.
103.
Yeah, we don't have a hood like here.
That must be nice.
Cat Williams talks about that in his Netflix special. He goes on like a 15-minute rant about Jacksonville. He's like, most cities got one hood, not Jacksonville.
We got Lim Turner. We got Dunn Avenue.
Moncrief. Eureka Gardens. Cleveland Arms.
I used to patrol both of those areas.
Oh.
We weren't allowed to go in by ourselves. We had to go in with.
But you're alive. But you're alive. That's all that matters. Okay.
Y'all ready?
Yep.
All right, let's do it.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the AFC South Fan Battle Podcast. I am back after a hiatus, but I had to be here because this is the final episode of the season. We are finally wrapping up season 3. Of course, we got started during training camp last year, and what a long, long year it's been. For me, anyway. I don't know. I mean, as a Jaguars fan, it's been a very long year. But I'm going to start off by introducing our commentators for this evening. Representing the Texans, we have Matt Briggs.
What up, Lovey Smith? Let's go.
Representing the Colts, we have Harish Nukala.
You know what? I took a long look at the mirror, and it's time to hold some motherfuckers accountable.
Ooh, coming in hot. I like it. Representing the Jaguars, we have Matthew Grieve.
2 years in a row, number one. The only team in the division that can say that.
It's the wrong number one, Matt. It's the wrong number one. That's not the one. That's not the one you want.
Oh.
But I guess if you're gonna do it really bad. You know, don't be the Colts. And anyways, moving on. Don't look at me like that, Harish.
I'm so lost.
We still got the number 1 pick and still finished out the season by beating the Colts. Come on now, that's like gold. Anyways,
you beat our former quarterback Carson Wentz.
Well, you know, I try to say that early in the season. Moving on, representing the Titans, we have the one and only troll of the group, the Michael Tesmer, they would say, of the Titans, RJ Ellison.
Hey, one and only, everybody's favorite Titans fan, you know.
Hey, since you know we finally got RJ on here, I had to bring a special guest. You know, they go
God.
out all the time.
Hey, how's it going? Hey,
how's it going?
Chris Jackson.
Oh,
Chris Jackson. from the You Don't Know
man.
Jack podcast. How
What
are
is
you?
happening? I am fantastic. How is everybody doing on this fine Monday?
Listen, I'm just gonna cut like full disclosure. I didn't even know that this is happening. What
I
a
didn't
surprise.
either. Yeah.
Well, I mean, in the words of a wise philosopher, well, hello, motherfucker.
Man. And I was stoked, man. I thought Josh Senior was gonna be here, man. I was ready to talk to him too.
No, we here. We here now.
Okay.
I've been listen. I've been waiting for this. It's amazing.
Well,
Hey.
RJ, since it's your first time on the show, I know the Colts, the Texans, and the Jaguars all wanted to get you a gift for your first time. So I got you this right here. Some Duke mayonnaise. I hope you don't mind though, because it's light. So it's, kind of like
Damn,
Miracle
gone
Whip.
fat too. Jeez.
Hey, I give you my address. You can send it to me.
Oh no, it's actually expired.
Oh,
It,
That's
ex-
like your
you mean
playoff
I can't even eat the mayonnaise? Come on.
Hey,
now.
listen.
it expired November of
You say
2021.
expired. Titans fans say experienced. So
Right.
as far as they're
This
concerned,
is-
they ain't worried about that at all.
This
All
is some experienced mayonnaise right
It's
here.
really good. I think the light version describes the Titans the best because they love to celebrate mediocrity. So mayonnaise is like mediocre mayonnaise, you know?
Yeah.
And expires like their playoff run.
Oh,
Oh, bro. Don't get me started, man.
But yeah, make sure you give me your address. I'll make sure I ship this off to you when we get done. Expired or not, you know what I mean? It's a trophy. I know how you guys like your mayonnaise.
I feel like I earned that. I earned it. There's a lot of trash talk I had to say. A lot of time, a lot of L's, a lot of W's.
That is true.
I just
Fair
have to because I'm only on here for a short time. I just wanted to make sure I let myself be known. But
hey, say what you gotta say.
I think today marks the 1 year anniversary of y'all comparing Ryan Tannehill to Pat Mahomes and saying he's elite. So exactly what? Exactly how are we now? Because I know a year ago was different.
Ooh, that's heavy.
We're 4 picks
Oh,
against
boy.
the Texans into Ryan Tannehill now. So it's just like, is he still elite, or are we taking the E off the beginning and saying he's light like that expired mayo that Sam got?
He's light. He's definitely light. He's definitely light.
Fantastic.
I think Titan fans are finally have hit the reality. We finally seeing what you guys are saying about him now. We finally.
Listen,
know,
RJ, before you go on, don't let these fools talk smack to you because they all believed in Carson Wentz.
there's a difference. Here's the thing. Hold on.
Don't worry, I'm gonna get my turn. I'm gonna just let them get what they gotta say out, and I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna let them talk.
So here's the thing: when you do things for short amounts of time, it's called a one-off, right? So we were a one-off in thinking Carson Wentz was good enough to help us get to the playoffs, right? But the Titans fans, because they did it for multiple years, they showed what we call the trend. So they were in a trend of delusional. We were just a one-off in delusional world.
I like that. That's a tech term too. I like the trend. I see that.
Management
I don't know,
terms.
y'all was very hype on Phillip Rivers too, man. I'm trying to make it seem like it was just
Phillip
Carson
Rivers did
Wentz.
really well.
And
And we wanted him back too.
Harish wanted Sam Darnold.
I did want Sam Darnold.
Yeah, you did want Sam Darnold. I remember that.
Yeah.
I would still take Sam Darnold over Carson Wentz.
And
All
I
right.
promise this is parting thought. I promise this is parting thought. But remember, RJ, when we had that talk about whether or not Henry meant more to Tannehill or Tannehill meant more to Henry?
Oh yeah.
I think we finally have our answer.
Can we just go ahead and get that, and then I'm going to roll up out of here. So exactly who is more important in that relationship? And
Derrick Henry.
all right, people. Well, you know what? It's been fantastic. Great to see you all. Okay.
Hey man, I'm gonna see you in the chat. Don't worry.
You already know.
I like talking smack with him. You and Harris and John Senior are all my favorites, man. And my favorite Colts fan.
Oh, well, that's
And-
perfect.
It's
You just
Tesla, too.
named. Make sure if those are your favorite Colts fans, make sure you turn into the You Don't Know Jack podcast where you can find all of those
Exactly.
people.
Two
Oh,
of
yeah,
them.
I will say one for the Colts fans that try to say that the Titan fans only think about the Colts. I watched one of you guys' podcast. I think it was like whenever you guys got those 7 Pro Bowlers, that was gonna take y'all to the Super Bowl. you know. As soon as I got on there, all I heard was the tighten this, tighten that, tighten. I was like, is this show even about the Colts? Like, you know.
Oh wow.
I mean,
Burn.
I
Yikes.
can assure you that wasn't us. And on that note,
it was definitely you and Josh Senior, because I was
It was
like, I want to
definitely
record
us?
this to put up.
Nah.
Yeah, it was you and Josh. They was like Kevin Byard. You know, he made it. Okay, what about Jeffrey Simmons? Nope. Y'all going through every one of
Okay, you know what? That
Oh,
sounds vaguely familiar. Vaguely. All right, vaguely. I'll give that to you though. That's fair. But all right, I'm gonna roll up out of here. You guys have a great podcast. It's been great. RJ, thank you for admitting everything I've been telling you all along. You are
No, yeah.
Bye, hypocrite.
I love you too, Sam. Oh, by the way, guys, I was gonna come on tonight, but I couldn't. So Sam wasn't gonna use me as her token black friend because of the Moncrief comments. All right, y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all later.
Always,
Right.
always calling me out. Gosh,
that
well, that
was
was quite a pleasant surprise. I wasn't
Was.
expecting to see Mr.
I
Chris
wasn't
Jackson on
expecting
here.
that either.
I'm always
Yeah.
enjoy Chris Jackson, even if he likes to throw me under the bus and make
He
little
jumped on-
joking comments that if somebody tuned in, they might insinuate I was racist. But
He jumped in my
Always-
dream.
Wait,
Yeah,
you're
but
not
hey.
you're not racist?
oh my God,
Oh.
Harish, now I'm getting it from the Indians. Like, come on. I just found out 2 weeks ago I'm not even white. Well, 100%. We know I am so. Yeah, I met
See,
my
we're-
biological brother, and I found out I am Native American.
We are
Working on
a multicultural accusational group. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we like to accuse everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
What we do best.
All right, now that we're done dragging me, let's move on to the real people that need to be drugged. Super Bowl was last night. This is our Super Bowl recap episode. I don't know what else to say besides the fact that Jalen Ramsey, yet another Jaguar, has a ring, and Jaguar is on the clock. Should we go ahead and wrap up this episode, or?
No, let's just say Jalen Ramsey got a ring despite how bad he was. in that
Oh,
game.
so bad.
Yeah.
He got abused.
Despite the
I
fact a rookie receiver who hasn't played in 365 days previous ran circles around him for 4 quarters.
I
But I
do
will
think
give
that
it-
one play, I'll let you comment after this, RJ. Sorry. I think that one play where he was
Face
like,
mask.
yes.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That was
Yeah.
that was fake.
Like
Yeah, that
they
was
got
bad.
away with that one.
that, they
But,
got away with murder. That was bad.
Yeah, go ahead, RJ.
My thing is, we gotta give the Bengals credit because they literally called before the game that they were gonna attack Jalen Ramsey. They definitely called it because I watched ESPN and they said they even had an interview saying that they were gonna attack Jalen Ramsey. So
I
I'd give them their props.
To be,
They
to
didn't
be
win the
fair
Super
against
Bowl,
Jalen,
but
to be fair against Jalen, I mean, he did handle his own against everybody else. Jamar Chase made him look like he was garbage. Like he did good against everybody else, but when he went up against Chase, it wasn't even fair. It was.
I feel like T. Higgins got him a couple times, but he got away with the penalty on T. Higgins.
I just
Was that one that we saw where he got like a
Go for a
holding
touchdown?
call? No,
I just like his entire attitude about the way he acted last night is what I don't miss about him. You know what I mean? Matt, if you want to comment on that since you're a Jaguars commentator.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Happy
No.
Valentine's Day to you too.
No, so I'm a huge Florida State fan, so I was excited seeing him come out of the draft to the Jaguars, right? But I knew like he had some flaws, and he still does, and it shows. I was, excited to see that, he got burnt a few times, but I guess he got his ring, whatever.
That's what I hate, though. God, I hate it.
Well,
God, I hate it.
who deserved to be burnt more, him or Eli Apple? Like they both got
Ramsey.
They both got burnt big time.
I don't
Well,
know. Eli Apple got it bad.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey might just getting burned by Jags fans. Everybody's dragging Eli Apple. I don't know if y'all saw.
Yeah,
No, I will say there's a
Wow.
lot
that's all
of
they've been talking about.
there's a lot of Jags fans coming to Ramsey's
Defense.
side, defense, because he I guess after he did that interview where he made the comments like about why he left, like a lot of people are like, okay, and I the same, like I wasn't as angry after that, but it still doesn't make up for his behavior, you know. And somebody I saw on Twitter last night, somebody made a comment like, "Oh, Jalen's back's about to be hurting again."
Oh no!
Yeah, that is.
Ouch!
Yeah. So,
Oh wow!
well, I will say my favorite part of that entire Super Bowl, because I really was only rooting for Burrow because that would have been cool, and against Ramsey, because let's be honest, was that halftime show.
Man,
Epic.
Oh yeah. Oh man,
Oh,
that
it
was
was-
classy.
top 5 all time in my opinion. I don't care what
Alright.
Number
anybody
2.
says.
Yeah, me
Top
too.
5
I'm with
all
you.
time.
I'm 2.
Super
I
Bowl.
think it's the
Man.
best one I've seen.
Second after Prince.
Yep. I agree.
Only
I'm gonna
because-
say second
Oh.
after Beyonce and the Beyonce.
Which time? Beyonce was on it like a million
year.
times.
Was it 2000? I'd have to look
19?
it up, but no, the one before that.
But
Is it
I
better
think
than
Prince singing "Purple Rain" in the rain. Come on now.
Is
The-
it
the
better than
only
the Janet
credit I
Jackson one? Is it better
I
than
think
Janet
that
Jackson?
was also top 5. The
Janet
Janet
Jackson.
Jackson. Yeah, that's probably number 3, honestly.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but Michael Jackson was pretty good too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Michael
don't
Jackson.
think I remember that, Matt. We're not that ancient, so
I don't.
I was
I
too
don't think.
young.
I don't think I
You're
remember that.
you're older than I am, so I mean,
Oh,
shut up.
well, that's awkward.
Shut up.
uh,
Well,
don't think I
moving on.
remember
Were there
that.
any? I know there was a lot of talk about referees during the game. We literally
Yeah, Katy
hear
Perry.
this every single game
Ugh.
that plays in the NFL. So, do you guys have any commentary about that before we move on?
I do want to call out, and I don't think it gets enough credit. The last throw Matt Stafford made, that was no look to Cooper Kupp.
Oh,
and
yeah.
slant route, does not get enough credit. And I will admit, when it happened, I did not, and it was on the last drive, a clutch moment. I did not realize it was a no look pass. With the game on the line, to make that throw is phenomenal, and I thought it was an amazing throw.
Did
mean,
Cooper
every-
Kupp deserve MVP?
100%.
yes.
Yeah. I did at first want to
There's-
say Aaron Donald when I
Yeah.
watched the game, but when I went back and rethought it, it's definitely Cooper Kupp.
Think about this. Cooper Kupp was the only wide receiver option they had. They
Yeah.
doubled and triple teamed him, and he still had 9 receptions, 95 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
I thought
That
he
is-
I thought he had 112.
Oh, did he break 100? I think when I
I
last saw
thought he
it,
did.
it
It might. It might.
He
I might
could have
be
broke
wrong.
100. It wouldn't surprise me. That is absolutely.
I don't
impressive
think
to
that's
know
it. Hold on.
he's
Let me
the
look
only
up.
option.
Let me verify this. But keep going.
It was.
But
Do
you
y'all
got to
think- do
look
y'all
at
think-
Only
before
option.
OBJ got hurt.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp was the reason why OBJ was looking so great because they were
Yeah,
quadruple
that's
teaming
fact.
him.
Well, OBJ was on the way to getting the MVP if he doesn't
Right.
get hurt.
I
Hey,
felt,
but
bad.
that's-
I felt bad for him. I felt
I
And
did
that's
too.
really
because
bad
of
for him.
Cooper Kupp, though. Am I right?
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah, it is
absolutely.
because of Cooper Kupp. He's getting the weaker coverages because of Cooper Kupp. They if anything, they're not letting Cooper Kupp get off.
Yeah. So 8 receptions, 92
Yeah.
yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 92 yards. Yeah.
But
That's
still,
good.
He had that last touchdown.
Still impressive.
that's to be the only wide receiver option and to put that up, 100% impressive.
Plus the whole postseason, he's been clutch in the fourth quarter. He's the reason why they won the whole playoffs. Every
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Because Cooper Kupp.
You go
And I
back to the
think this
Tampa Bay
is-
game. Yeah,
Yeah.
he literally caught the pass that put him in the field goal range.
Yep.
But to go back to what you were saying about the refs, Sam, I see everybody saying, don't know, like y'all say, sports betting, blah, blah, blah. Look, yeah, there was a lot of penalties thrown in that last drive. But a lot of them were supposed to be called. And plus, in the first half, face mask against Jalen Ramsey wasn't called. The rest had nothing to do with it. It was.
I don't think the
Everything
game was
was-
rigged. I thought that was really weird for
I don't
Bengals
think
fans to
rigged.
say.
I don't think
Nah,
rigged
it wasn't
is.
rigged.
I don't think rigged is the appropriate term, but at this point, when we as fans are catching things that they're not calling, like I don't know if you bring in like sideline referees for both sides, because there's things that like they're not catching.
Do you know
You know
what
what I
I
mean?
think it is?
And if you can't challenge offensive pass interferences and stuff like that, then maybe you need to have some sideline refs.
I honestly think what it is I think the refs are at a point and just and their time as the NFL and their importance in the NFL is If you don't really pay your refs an actual salary that matters, you're going to continue to have this problem.
What do they
I
get-
think the
what do
refs
they
just
get
don't give a
paid?
shit. It's not a lot. I just don't think they give a shit at this point.
Yeah.
A lot of
That-
NFL refs
that has to
actually
be-
have full-time jobs.
That has to be their sole job. Like, pay them enough where they can focus on nothing but being a ref.
You
And
can
that
give
might-
each ref $1 million a year and be happy. Like they,
Right.
you
I mean,
can
the
tear them
NFL,
off.
the NFL makes plenty.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
You could tear them off. Tier 1 is $1 million. Tier 2 is $750. Tier 3 is $500. Tier 4, whatever. You could tear them off, and then, but until the refs make a true salary to where they could just do this full time, it's not going to get better. It doesn't matter how many rules you
can hold them.
change,
Like, you
whatever.
can hold them accountable then.
Yeah.
If you know, because like Rudy said, this is not their main job. So like, why give 110%? You know.
Yep.
I mean, no
I
matter
can see what
what,
you're
we
saying.
should all give 110%. My boss doesn't pay me very well, but I give 110%. My boss
So-
is my boss is myself.
I was
So-
going to say, okay.
So, anyways, moving
So,
on.
I was
RJ,
looking-
go ahead, Matt.
I say here on Sporting, I was looking up real quick on Sporting News. They reported that in 2019, officials made on average $201,000.
That's pretty.
Now, I will-
That's decent salary.
It's decent,
I
I will
take it.
take, I'll take half of that and call a really good game. So
but
that's not a legitimate excuse, you know. Like $200,000, you should be calling a good game
it's
Yeah.
it's decent
for a
but if
part-time
you
gig. For
compare
a
it-
part-time gig, that's
Yeah.
that's their side hustle, you know.
Yeah. But
I
if
just-
you
I
compare
just
it to
feel
what
like-
the league makes, it just doesn't add up.
Yeah, I just feel like it would not hurt for them to have two sideline refs on each side, watching the sides at all times, because that seems to be where the problems come in, where the questionable calls get like. So if you have somebody that's watching the side on the sideline at each time, I think you could easily. I don't know. What do I know?
Or-
I'm not Roger Goodell.
Or have they have earpieces. Have a third party in New York saying, "Hey, look, this is what."
Well, they do, and they still suck.
Right.
Isn't that why they have the NFL review party and that's on the stupid broadcast? Well, you know, I think that should have done
Yeah, but
this.
the referees don't. They don't consult with them because a lot of times those guys call it right, but the referees don't consult with them. This will maybe get like a headpiece or something where they can consult with them and get a third view that's looking all around instead of, like Sam said, where they missed it.
I mean, we saw it makes or breaks. You know, Jaguars didn't go to the Super Bowl for it.
Oh, my
The
God.
other thing I'll
Oh
the
yeah.
the other thing I'll mention, even though Miles Jack was down, and I'm going to bring a complete
Was not. down.
yeah, no, you're right, was down.
Yeah.
You're right.
Was not.
So, and I'm going to go completely off the roads here, and y'all are going to laugh at me for this, but it's a review system that works. In the sport of cricket, right? If there is an official review, the person that's reviewing the play actually commentates what they're reviewing. So it tells you exactly what they're looking at every frame so that you know, hey, this is what you're looking at, this is what you're doing, and you can actually hear them communicating to the on-field umpire to say, this is what the call is, make this call.
I mean, they're gonna have
so
to
they've
do
got
something,
something
right?
like
Because
that would be awesome.
at the end of the day, with the amount of people calling it fake or saying that sports betting is included, you're gonna kind of have to. I mean, people are betting on the NFL,
Yeah.
so you're gonna have to do that, right? At some point, you're going to have to figure something out to make it more fair if it's getting that big.
Well, sports gambling is about to be legal in a bunch of states, so
Yeah, they're gonna
Texas
have to.
included. Fucking finally,
Y'all really think like this? All this gambling stuff really has that big of an impact on the
Oh,
internet
100%.
Money drives everything. Money drives all
It-
major decisions.
Especially if you look at spreads and things like that. I think it's not necessarily winners or losers. I think it's more about spreads and hitting the spread and not the spread, right? Like you see it a lot in basketball. I think I watched it in college the other day. This Duke player missed a dunk, and like the spread was like -6, and they only won by 5. He missed a dunk on purpose, like literally,
wow.
yeah. So it's like shit like that. No, I think it's a real thing, but I don't think it's as big as we make it. But we also have to do. I don't think the organizations or the leagues do enough to try to mitigate it as much as possible.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. You're never going to completely fix it, right? It's just too big of a
Yeah.
thing. but I think you have to do enough to mitigate it. And I don't think any of the leagues do
And
enough
make
to
sure it's
mitigate it.
fair and not miss
Yeah.
calls or whatever. I mean,
Yep.
that's
Right.
is what it is. Because if they have all that going on and then somebody does something intentionally, especially in football, because football there's so many like strategy and things like that,
Yeah.
you're going to be able to tell
Yep.
if somebody's like, oops, and drops the football behind them. You know, like
yeah, that makes sense.
so. But anyway, moving on. Let's get into our teams. We know Super Bowl Rams are victorious. Anybody who's listening to this, I'm sure already knows that by now. Congratulations to Matt Stafford. You guys
Yeah, he
thought I was going to say
deserves
Jalen Ramsey. You thought. Actually, I saw a really funny meme. It was like Eminem in the halftime show, Matt Stafford at quarterback. This is the closest Detroit's going to get to a Super Bowl. And I was like,
Yeah.
Before we do move on and someone on the halftime show, did anybody else see like the list of demands the NFL asked these guys not to do, and they did them all?
Yes.
Like,
And I loved every
Eminem
second.
wasn't supposed to
Oh,
kneel,
yeah.
and he kneeled.
Yeah.
well, hold on. Wait, what were the – I heard about Eminem, but then I also heard that
Nope.
that wasn't true.
Snoop Dogg couldn't wear
it
that
was-
flag
it-
in his back pocket.
Yeah.
What was it?
Snoop Dogg wasn't supposed to wear anything gang related.
He wasn't. He was wearing
literally
he was wearing Rams colors, and
Well, yeah, but
it was a
and,
bandana like color or
Dr.
bandana
Dre wasn't-
pattern.
Dr. Dre wasn't supposed to sing.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to sing Still Dre.
Why?
Yeah, because it had police brutality in it, didn't it? It's something to do with police.
Yeah, I
They
think
couldn't
you're right.
do songs that had any type of police brutality to. Well, I
But
was reading on
this
it.
this is the thing that I feel I don't know if like so I heard about that before it happened, that the NFL had asked Eminem not to do it, and then he did it, and then the media took off. So the skeptic in me says the media does this crap on purpose because they're also like, oh, all these old Republicans hated the halftime show. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sure that my dad probably didn't. He's not like a Snoop Dogg fan, you know. But the whole taking a knee thing, he took a knee. Like, what are they going to say next time somebody gets on a knee and proposes? Like, oh man, look at them.
Yeah.
Like
It's
it's almost like a
silly to me.
reach at this point. Like they're trying to create a narrative. It's
Well,
like
Did you also see Fox News tweeted out that
no.
every team?
Speaking of old Republicans.
Well, hold on. That every team stood up
Don't
for
get
the
more
national
Republican than
anthem,
that.
and they showed every team, and they showed instead of the Bengals, they showed the Chiefs. Like they completely.
they were trying to say that they kneeled.
No, they said look at all the teams that stood up. Both teams stood up for the national anthem through it entirely, but they showed the Chiefs instead of the Bengals. The Chiefs were in the Super Bowl last year. It was the Bengals. Or this year it was the Bengals.
Oh,
So
was
they-
that who it was? Okay, thank you.
Well, I mean,
Just
that's
kidding.
what I'm trying to say.
Wait, who won?
No, I know. That's what I mean though. It's like getting to a point where it's like,
Right.
especially like our generation, like we didn't like, you know, when all the stuff was happening, you know, I went off on that tangent after the George Floyd stuff at the beginning of one of our podcasts. Like we pretty much all saw that and we're like, yeah, that was kind of jacked up. You know what I mean? So people are starting to get in the narrative like, yeah, we don't like it. Can we like move on? Like, let's all love each other, you know? So the whole like Eminem kneeled. I'm like, you fucking okay.
Okay.
He kneeled.
He expressed his feelings. Something.
My
that
favorite
you
part
guys
was
are
the
not
local-
doing.
The local
The crazy
news.
part-
Go ahead.
No, the crazy part, he didn't even kneel for police brutality. He kneeled because they, at the time, Dr. Dre was playing
Tupac.
that one, yeah, he was playing
Yeah.
Tupac. He was playing what's the one song?
I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, I ain't mad at you. Yeah, and he took a knee just for, and you know what I'm saying, for
It's like a sign of
Tupac.
respect.
And he
Yeah,
pointed to the
Thank
sky.
you.
Yeah.
And he pointed to the sky as well.
Like who's actually complaining about it outside of the media? I don't see the NFL make any comments. I don't see the teams,
No.
the players.
Like the
Yeah,
owners.
Like it's just ridiculous.
They even came out.
Yeah, I
I
don't
was
think
watching
they understand
Undisputed
anything.
this morning, and they were saying that Skip Bayless was saying that the NFL knew he was going to take a kneel, so there was really nothing wrong with anything Eminem did.
But
Well, and
Also-
the NFL said also they came out with a statement after because somebody was like, they told him not to do it. They were like, no, we reviewed their thing multiple times. There was nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. I was gonna
Yeah, there
say I was
nothing wrong with
pretty
it.
sure they
Nothing wrong with the
reviewed
performance.
like day of or day before exactly what they were gonna do.
But
The
the-
one thing I did not know and I was actually I don't know if you guys know this or not. Apparently, the cost of the show is like $5 to $6 million, and the NFL paid $1 million, and Dre paid the rest. I did not know that.
That's cool.
I thought that was dope, and that stage was phenomenal. Like it was so badass.
Well, and a lot of people were commenting for those who, just to clarify, for those who were like, oh, why didn't they show any images of Tupac? So Dr. Dre is the one who produced or helped write most of his songs so he could play them, but he doesn't own his image copyright. So I just want to throw that out there. They couldn't show him.
There was
so then Eminem kneeled for him. And you know what? The local news shared the story and they said, allegedly because of the Colin Kaepernick, and then broke down the Colin Kaepernick thing for people that don't watch the NFL. But the point is, who cares what he did it for?
Yeah.
Because you guys are even saying allegedly. If he did it for Colin Kaepernick, if he did it for Tupac, if he did it for his mom's spaghetti, who gives a shit?
And maybe his mom makes a badass spaghetti, so he was trying to shout out to it, you know?
I mean, I don't know, because in that song he talks about throwing it up on his sweater, so it's probably not that good. So that's why he's probably kneeling down to it. Rest in peace, mom's spaghetti. But
Sam, I'll go back to that one point that you were making about how the Republicans didn't really like rap. I've gone through years of watching Super Bowl halftimes where there were genres I didn't like. You know, they were playing the U2 on there. I'm like, I don't even listen to them. You didn't see me complain about.
He said the U2.
Yeah, I don't listen to U2. I'm sorry.
I mean,
they pretty much going through what I had to go through.
Right. Or the years of torment that we had to go through as millennials, because the Janet Jackson thing, that was in 2004.
Screwed everything up. Yep.
My senior year, the Super Bowl was in Jacksonville, and we got Paul McCartney.
Wow.
That's what we got. We got Paul McCartney.
Wow.
Well, so you know what? We were owed that last
So
year.
Everyone's gonna throw a fit. Look at the Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. I thought that was a phenomenal halftime show.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Everybody threw a fit about it because of their wardrobe.
But didn't freak out the year before when Adam Levine got naked. I mean, listen, this is the bottom line. No matter what, somebody's always going to have something to say about somebody.
Exactly.
Well,
and it's usually the old people.
The end of halftime on a good note. Did anybody else see the Bengals kicker like stay out of the locker room at halftime to watch the halftime show? Like he
said, I would have too.
I'm good. Like I'm going.
I think everything. Well, I had a feeling like the coach, like the players are like, all right, coach, we know what to do. Like, yeah, you know, go run this play. Can we go watch this halftime show now? Like, for real, can we just go? I feel like he wasn't the only one.
Right.
Like a lot of these guys are like our age, like in their 30s and shit. So this is like our generation of music. Like this is what we grew up on. So
I think the best part of all of it is.
So apparently,
Twitter.
I heard that Jay-Z is over the music now for halftime shows, and if this is the first one by Jay-Z,
no, this is actually
banger, you know.
This is actually the third or fourth one. He's the one who got Jennifer Lopez and
I mean, he was there last night. So was Kanye.
Yeah.
So was Kid Cudi. So was Kid Cudi. He was baiting up media members for mentioning his beef with Kanye.
Did y'all see Anderson .Paak? Do y'all know who Anderson .Paak is? Anderson .Paak. Yeah, he was at the show too. He was playing the drums.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yep.
Like I think that was the coolest part of it to me. Not to keep dragging this on, but like I love that Dr. Dre put on and produced that whole thing and brought in like real musicians.
Yeah,
I love that. Like
the live music aspect is just different. It's like
it gives you
kiss. Yeah, gives you like something like no other. It was a phenomenal halftime show.
And seeing $2 bill hanging upside down, seeing in the club was great too.
At first I was confused, and then he started playing. I was like, "Oh, snap, that's
Dude, he literally has been trolling himself.
Yeah,
he's been trolling himself on Twitter.
And Mary J. Blige.
Dude,
she looked good. She's
still got it,
man.
Look, whoever says that's chick music don't know music. I still jam out to Mary J. Blige to this day. Like,
man,
you better be tonight. It's Valentine's Day, homie.
Man, my mama, she loved Mary J. Blige growing up. She used to have, me riding in the car. She had all her CDs. She make me sit there and listen to it all the time. So it's good to hear that.
No, there was one part. I don't know if anybody caught this when she was singing "No More Drama." She was getting super passionate, and she said something about "get that mask about my face."
I didn't even see that.
I was like, Did anybody else hear that? Did anybody
No,
hear
I
that?
didn't catch
I
that.
might have to rewatch it.
I did see somebody say something about it on Twitter, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
like, she got into the high part, I'm tired of all the drama. And then she's like, get that mask about my face. And I was like,
Oh yeah, no,
did
I
anybody hear
didn't
it?
see that.
Did anybody hear it?
Yeah,
Just me. I was like, yes. And then Kanye's going off on Hillary Clinton on Instagram that morning. I'm like, this is great. What a great day. Anyways.
Dude, how about Kendrick Lamar? He showed
Yeah.
out too, man.
Dude, yeah.
I was
Everybody
like,
was upset about
I was
his
like looking at
tone
him,
voice,
like
but-
he doesn't really fit with like these guys are from like even the '90s, right?
Yeah,
And Kendrick Lamar is a little bit more modern, but man, he fit right in and he held his own. I think.
Yeah.
oh, it was awesome. Just drop
I
another
just
damn
liked
album,
his
dude.
lapel pins, like his whole outfit. I was
Yeah.
like digging the swagger. I was like,
Just
"Dang."
drop another damn album, man. Come on.
Dude,
Do it.
like, man, I ain't gonna lie, Kendrick Lamar one of the most like gifted artists, man. But like,
Love
dude, work
Kendrick
ethic
Lamar.
is trash. I'm sorry, his work ethic is trash, man.
Well,
People
maybe
trying to-
it's a sense of entitlement. Maybe I don't know if it's a work ethic thing. Like, I don't think he's just sitting there not making music. I just think maybe like wants control over when he releases it, or like I
Yeah.
feel like
Hey, that
Or
could
he,
be-
he feels like one of those. It's almost like Kanye-ish, right? Where he could just like get bored
Mhm.
tonight, like all right, I guess we're dropping the album tonight.
Or he could be like Dr. Dre, where he don't release nothing until it is perfect in his mind. Doesn't
Mhm.
matter what it is.
I hope so. I hope that's what he's doing. You know,
Dr. Dre's
yeah.
still working on the album from 20 years ago. So like
It's kind of been the new thing because Nicki Minaj was saying the same thing the other day. Like she's gonna come out with that album, but she won't tell anybody when. Remember back in the day, you would know like
Yeah,
when an artist was coming out because it would be
Mhm.
in the FYE album, and you're like, oh my
Yeah.
god, I got 9 months. You know, nowadays they'll literally drop it overnight because they like literally strategize how they're gonna get like the most listens because you don't want to drop it
Mhm.
like Kanye and Drake were trying to not drop at the same time, or maybe they were, you know what I mean? So I mean,
I think it's just the
fun.
world we live in now. You control you control what you do now, right? You have more control over your work and when you drop it, how you drop it, why you drop it, where you drop it. It's just
Well, these kids will never know the pain of waiting outside of FYE.
Oh yeah.
yeah. All I have to do is
Never.
like, dang, I got to set my alarm tonight so I can wake up to listen to the new Kanye album.
The true pain was trying to open up those stupid CDs, man.
Oh yeah,
Right.
that
The fucking
Yeah.
plastic.
Take
Oh,
the
dude, the
plastic off,
worst.
yeah.
I remember.
You'll never have that feeling again.
Yeah.
If you couldn't get it at FYE, you had to go to like Walmart or something, right? And I remember having to go to Walmart to get DMX Know This X, and the whole album was barking. And growling.
Yeah. You gotta go
The
to Target.
whole album was barking and growling because it was all edited.
Yeah, you had to go to Target, the unedited version.
Well, we didn't have a Target close by at that time, sir.
Shame on you.
Yeah, I know. What can I say?
Brother
Sorry.
Jacksonville.
Sorry, we're not Kansas City, you know?
Houston. Okay. All right.
Oh, that's where you were at the time. My bad.
Yeah.
World traveler.
See,
All
this
right.
is why I strategically planned where I live. Target is literally down the street.
Oh,
if we ever go back to
have
the-
them now, but you
Yeah.
know.
If we ever go back to the CD era, I'm prepared.
Well, let's move on. Enough of the music. We're not a music podcast. I wish we were. That'd actually be
Right.
great. But
Yeah.
some big news. Let's break down our teams. Actually, we're going to start with you, RJ. Mike Vrabel was the AFC coach in the Pro Bowl. And any news coming out of your camp besides that? Give us a recap what you've heard on the Titans since the playoff loss.
It really has just been that. I mean, we're trying to. I hope we re-sign Harold Landry, but I got a feeling we might not. Just looking at our salary cap, you know, that's really the most I've really gotten. The most I've been reading. Everybody's been speculating around.
Y'all extended J. Rob and Verbal too.
Yeah, we did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know if you guys already did a show on that already, so that's why I didn't say anything. Yeah, we did extend them, so it'll be more of the same. Hopefully,
Now, I have a question from that playoff game. I haven't been on, so I haven't been able to ask a Titans fan.
Oh, yeah, don't know.
So I was recently in Nashville. I went for a bachelorette party. Shocker, I know.
Mhm.
And it was really cold. First of all, I got to see falling snow for the first time in my life. I have never seen falling snow in my life. I looked like Winona Ryder and Edward Scissorhands in the middle of the streets of Nashville. Like, oh my
Oh,
God.
wow.
And everyone's looking at me like I'm a crackhead, but it was great. Also met my biological brother for the first time. That was cool. But the best part of my trip besides my friend getting married and celebrating her, was talking shit to the Titans fans because we were there the weekend that it was supposed to be the AFC Championship game, right? So I don't own a coat or cold wear except for what I wear to the Jags game. So I had a Jags beanie on. I also have a Jaguar starter jacket, but I didn't wear that out. They were fortunate. But I had this Jaguars beanie on. This guy comes up to me. He's like, "You got some nerve wearing that around here," or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, what? You guys play Sunday?" He's like, "No." He's like, "No, do you?" And I said, "Oh, no, we don't, sir. But you can't tell me anything that I don't already know myself. We suck." So, but I did ask him this question. I was like, all bullshit aside, do you feel like maybe, and I'm going to ask you this question, I won't tell you his answer. Do you feel like maybe the Titans scheme that they ran without Derrick Henry, that maybe possibly they're better off without Derrick Henry?
Ooh.
For that game, or you just saying for in general?
Moving forward?
Moving forward? Yeah, you talking about moving forward, or you talking about for that game?
So when Derrick Henry got hurt, right? You guys had some games that you struggled. I mean, Derrick Henry was there for the Jets, correct?
Yeah.
So Derrick Henry got hurt, and then you guys had to play a completely different offense built without him there, and you guys balled out. So maybe Derrick Henry, instead of being your star player, maybe he's holding you back.
That's a good question. I would. That's tough.
It's a hard pill to swallow.
It is a hard one because I was talking with some Titan fans the other day, and I was asking them, I'm like, do y'all think Derrick Henry's gonna come back and be the exact same player that he's always been? You know, is he gonna be a superstar? Because I mean, you look at games like, especially the second time we played the Colts when he got hurt. I mean, we were just running them into a brick wall at that point in time, and it's like, all right, man, are we trying to run to see if he's gonna break one? Or I mean, if he's hurt, I highly doubt he's gonna break one. But when like I feel like whenever Deontay Foreman comes in, it seems like the box lights up. You know, it's like they try to play for the pass when Deontay Foreman is in. So like Deontay Foreman is gonna get off because the box is lighter. But when Derrick Henry in, it's like okay, we got 10 people in the box now, so we're gonna once he come in, we usually have like 3 tight end sets or 2 tight end sets.
I had that aha moment watching that playoff game, right? Because when I heard that Derrick Henry was activated for that game, I was like, oh shit, well, there we go. Because I told the girls we were going with, they don't watch football. I'm like, look, if they win this game, that game is going to be in Nashville. So we need to like get our shit together and plan everything we need to plan because it's going to be busy as crap down there. And so I was like, they're going to win. Their star player is coming back. And then that didn't happen. It was quite the opposite. It was almost like not a completely different team, but a different team that we had seen in weeks prior. So that sparked this idea that maybe the offensive scheme they create around Derrick Henry maybe is not working for the Titans. Not that I want to see you guys succeed. Trust me.
No. I mean, you speaking from a football fan standpoint. I was, I'm very critical of Derrick Henry. I'm probably like Derrick Henry's biggest critic. Like, I think Derrick Henry is the best running back we've ever drafted. And one thing I always noticed about him is he runs soft. Like, even in the playoff game, he ran soft. Like, if you go back and watch that game, because I went back, it was hard, but I went back and watched that game. And whenever for instance, that 2-point conversion that we did at the one, we handed Derrick Henry the ball. Derrick Henry could have got that touchdown, or to got that 2-point conversion. All he had to do was stick the darn ball out. Like, he's like, he got hit in the leg and he went straight down. It was like, I'm like, what is he doing? Like, can he at least stick the ball out? Like, I understand it isn't the greatest call to just run it up the middle, but like, he got hit in the legs and it's like the ball was right there at the line. All he had to do was just, stick the ball out. You would have got it. And it's a whole different game from there. Man, it was just a couple times, man.
I think it's really strange about that game, and I think it's funny you mentioned it. To me, it looked like Derrick Henry was walking sometimes. Like, that's how slow he looked.
Well, we all know that Derrick Henry is not Derrick Henry until the end of the season. Like, it takes a while for him to.
So there's that, and then there's also that makes me start to wonder, and we'll find out, right? We've got 7 months. He's actually got time to sit down. Is that foot injury, the Liz Frank injury, which is not a very good injury for especially a running back to have?
Right.
Is that an actual bigger impact than we think it is?
And that's
Are we
what-
going to
that's what
see
my
the
biggest
same
fear
Derrick
is.
Henry? Yeah. Are we going to see the same Derrick Henry? Because that was 10 weeks, right? And that's in no way, shape, or form is 10 weeks enough time, especially for a running back who uses their feet, enough time to recover from that injury. That's a season-ending injury.
ETN. Well, that's what ETN had, and he
Right,
got
and
out
that's
the
why,
entire
and that's
season.
why I blame that game more on Tannehill because it obviously Derrick Henry wasn't going to win that game, and you could just tell by watching that Derrick Henry wasn't going to win that game, and so the game was put in Tannehill's hands, and you seen what he did. He went out there and threw 3 interceptions. But I would put
that game on Vrabel because Foreman was hot. I don't know why you didn't give him the ball more. Like,
I agree with that too. He should not have
everything.
got 4 carries. He should not have got 4 carries. And I gotta go back to that Ravens game. You go back to the Ravens game last year. That was that was in Nashville. I mean, granted, we didn't have no defense, but I mean, Derrick Henry was running soft. Like, dude was like running like like they just gonna give him the hole. Like, no, bro, you're gonna have to put your shoulder down and hit somebody and scare them at least, or wear them down, do something. And you can't just the team is relying on you.
Right.
And I get on a lot of Titan fans that want to bash Tannehill, and I'm like, what is Derrick Henry doing? There's going to be a point in time we're going to have to start blaming Derrick Henry for these losses because we don't give Tannehill the dub whenever he go out there and throw 3 touchdowns. It's all because the defense so worried about Derrick Henry. They don't want to give Tannehill the dub. But when we lose, it's all Tannehill fault, this, that, and the other. I'm like, nah, we can't.
Well,
we can't
I mean,
do that.
that's like anytime you have like a player on your team that's like the savior, all the message boards are going to blame literally
Somebody that
anybody
isn't
else.
the savior. I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's like with Trevor Lawrence. Nobody wanted to blame Trevor Lawrence for anything this season from the Jaguars camp.
I mean, there's no way you really could. It wouldn't really.
I mean, you could.
I think it's the same for any quarterback. I mean, as a Colts fan, everybody is so ready to throw, Carson Wentz for the 2 big games at the end of the season, which admittedly he was horrible. There are 3 games where Carson Wentz were amazing, and we lost all 3 games because the defense was shit. It made a mistake, and it's almost like, and I compared early in the season to like the Cowboys teams of old, where Tony Romo would get the Cowboys up by like 20 or 30. The defense would blow the lead. Tony Romo would throw a pick, and it's all Tony Romo's fault.
Yeah.
So
basically, that's what happened to the Niners, man. Like, my friend's a Niner fan, and he's like, "Oh, it's all Jimmy G." I'm like, dude, I'm gonna tell you this right now. When Jimmy G gone, y'all gonna miss him. I'm gonna let you know. They're gonna miss him. I'm telling you. What?
Although I think Trey Lance is gonna be a beast, but still, that's beyond the point.
He's gonna be nice, but it's gonna be a minute.
Yeah. So, I mean, it goes back to say the quarterback is everything for a franchise, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why there's so much value in a guy like a Mahomes or a Burrow or a Herbert. These are guys that,
I mean, even Mahomes was getting a lot of fan kickback.
Yeah, the Chiefs fans up here want to trade him.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Hey, we'll take him.
Wait, what? They want to trade Mahomes? Wow.
I mean, yeah, but those are guys that you can Matt Stafford this season. Like, those are guys that you can count on regardless of what's going on around you. More often than not, right? There's the caveat, right? For you Mahomes guys that want to trade Mahomes to any team that's not the Chiefs, more often than not, you can count on those guys. And that's why I think the league this year, now we've seen it evolve again. It's all about the quarterback, weapons, and pass rush. You need the quarterback. You need people that can adjust to what the quarterback is doing. And then you need a fucking defensive line that's going to eat the quarterback's shit, right? Like, that's the key to winning these days. Like,
I think that was part of Burrow's problem last night is his line could not stop. The Rams defensive line. That was his problem.
Which was
I mean, we kind of knew that.
Right?
We knew that. Yeah, we knew that coming in.
Yeah, that was rough. That was rough to watch.
That helps us Texans fans.
Yeah.
So
it's not like the Rams' offensive line was spectacular either. They were horse shit too. But they were good enough to give Stafford just enough time. I think you were talking about it earlier, Matt, maybe before the show, and I just thought that 4th and 1, Jamar Chase was wide open.
He was wide open.
He literally has a half a second. They probably win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you could get away with having a mediocre. You can get away with having a horrible line, but you can't get away with not having great pressure. Like, Aaron Donald is the reason why Jamar Chase wasn't in the end zone. Like,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I've told Colts fans today, and they call me stupid. If I had to trade a package of Carson Wentz and somebody else to get Russell Wilson or something, give it to me. You want Quentin Nelson? Take him. You want Ryan Kelly? Take him. I want a quarterback that I can rely on day in and day out, regardless of the scenarios. Is going to give me a better opportunity than not to go win a football game.
Right.
And I this is Ballard's 6th year, and I've started to look at it. You know, I've defended Ballard night and day. Dude, I'm tired of not winning the fucking division. Like, I'm so sick of it. It's getting old. I'm sure Jim Irsay's like, "Nah, this is bullshit. Like, we shouldn't have lost the season like that." So, yeah, it's time to get aggressive and quit fucking around. Like, this is, this isn't fucking Peyton Manning 2000s where, you know, the rest of the AFC, you just got to worry about the Patriots. There's 7 great quarterbacks in the AFC alone.
Yeah, it's a much, and next year we'll even tell more. It's going to be a much different ballgame. I don't think it's safe to say that we maybe didn't witness the best quarterbacks of all time. I don't think we'll ever get that caliber all together in the league at the same time.
Dude, it was insane.
Yeah.
This is probably the best playoffs I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, by
As a
far.
whole.
There wasn't, outside of the wild card, like, dude, all the games were good. Like,
Even the wild card.
Yeah.
It was just the Bills and the Patriots that was a blowout. Every other game was close.
No, the Steelers and Chiefs was a blowout too. Chiefs ran out of.
Oh yeah.
fireworks.
Yeah, you got Vegas.
That Bills
Vegas
game
and
was
the
wild.
Vegas and the Bengals was a good one. What was the other wild card that was on the Cowboys and the Niners? That was a very, very good game too.
Yeah, that was a sloppy game, but it was close the entire time. But again, you know, this is probably the best playoffs beginning to end we've, you know, division round every game.
Even the
close.
Super Bowl. The Super Bowl was great too.
What a great game that was. I mean, and this is just what it is. Like, and if you look at the quarterbacks of all those teams, Joe Burrow, Matt Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, like these are all excellent quarterbacks. And regardless of what was going, and they're all, well, except for Matt Stafford, and regardless of what was going on around them, those guys were keeping their teams in games, and they weren't, you know, scurrying it off for their teams. So yeah, I think the league it's taking another step of involvement, and you don't really need, you know, you need like a top 10 quarterback, top 12. Once you get into that outside of the top 12, it's kind of iffy.
You're not gonna win much.
Well,
unless you just have a complete team around them. Like it's kind of you got to literally, you got to be literally.
You can't make any mistakes.
That's actually a really great segue. Speaking of top 10 or 12 quarterbacks with nothing around them, Matt Grieve and the Jaguars.
Wait, what top 10 or 12 quarterback do y'all have?
Trevor Lawrence with nothing around him, no weapons, no nothing.
I was going to say Jake Luton.
better.
I do want to see what Trevor Lawrence would look like with an actual team, like you know, with a team that's actually going to win.
Regardless of whether or not you want to be in denial, Harish, Trevor Lawrence is the best thing to come out of the draft quarterback-wise since Andrew Luck.
Nope.
No, I can agree with that.
Nah, I mean, as in like a surefire prospect, yes, but as in quarterback talent, no. Andrew Luck is.
He has a lot of flaws that were not looked at that I mentioned last year before he was drafted and got laughed at.
Well,
literally everything has to be perfect for Trevor Lawrence for him to work out.
Well,
and
I mean,
it happened in Clemson, and it's happening at the Jaguars.
Let's let Matt commentate on this, but I will comment that he didn't even have a coaching staff. But
well, that's what I'm saying. He's got to have it all.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, any team has to have it all. Go ahead, Matt.
I mean, I think most quarterbacks.
We got a coach now. Go ahead and comment on that.
Most quarterbacks, most players, you know, it's a scheme fit, right? I think we alluded to that earlier, right? A lot of people are successful because they're in the right scheme. I mean, look at Tannehill, garbage in Miami, and he goes to play action heavy Tennessee, and he's doing all right there. But
they actually thought he was elite, Matt. He went to Tennessee, and they thought he was an elite quarterback.
Hey, just for the record,
today we have confirmed
I
he's just
never
light.
thought he was elite. I never thought he was elite. I thought he was a good quarterback. I put him in the top 10, but I never said elite. So I don't.
I'm about to go look for these receipts after the show, but go ahead, Matt.
But no. So yeah, we have a new coach, Doug Peterson. I guess I'm excited about it. I'm warming up to it. I would have rather had
Matt Briggs, why does our caption say Doug Peterson with a question mark? Are you questioning
No,
Doug Peterson? Maybe.
No,
Doug Peterson.
question if he's a good fit or not.
I'm warming up to the idea. I didn't like how the relationship between him and Wentz soured there at the end. And from the stories that came out, they didn't even talk for like the last couple weeks that they were together. That's just a bit of an immature way to go about it, being the head coach and your all-star quarterback. But so I wasn't too excited about that because the future of the Jaguars is going to be Trevor Lawrence. And for me, I wanted to bring in somebody that was gonna help usher Trevor Lawrence into this new era, right? And but I'm warming up to it. You listen to the radio hosts and all the great things that Peterson has to bring, and yeah, he does have a good track record working with quarterbacks. So I don't know. We'll see.
Little bit of Stockholm syndrome, right? Like,
yeah,
like one of the quarterbacks he helped develop, we had, and he broke his clavicle 11 snaps into the first game. So
yeah,
I got a quick question for the Jag fans. So who you guys getting in the draft? Number one.
Oh,
trading it.
Evan Neal.
Evan Neal.
If you're smart,
are you gonna pass on Thibodeau?
100%.
Trading it for Jalen Ramsey.
100%.
Everything's all about Trevor Lawrence right now. Get him somebody who can protect him a little bit.
Man, that dude is a beast.
He is a beast, but
did y'all hire that
franchise is going to be the guy who throws the ball?
Didn't y'all end up hiring that VP from Minnesota?
Has it been official yet?
I don't know if it's been official yet or not. It is.
Was it official?
He is very pro trading out of the first pick,
which I'm fine with. I'd like to see Evan Neal, but if we can get some,
you can trade back and get Green, which would be.
We have a lot of holes that we need to fill on the line, our skill positions. DJ Chark, he may not be back.
Yeah, that's some drama right there. DJ Chark removed all Jaguars stuff off of his Instagram and unfollowed the Jaguars.
Oh really?
So maybe he's hanging out with Kyler Murray.
Maybe he's hanging out with Kyler Murray. Yeah. Maybe they're both are going to go to the Lions and turn them around into 4-win teams instead of 3-win teams.
But if we stay in the first pick, I'd like to see Evan Neal. Thibodeau is a beast, but he's not going to be the one throwing the touchdowns. Yeah. And that's as we saw yesterday, it was the quarterbacks that won the game. I mean, Sam Darnold, you're not going to find another Sam Darnold. I mean, that guy's when you talk about Trevor Lawrence being generational, Sam Darnold is generational. Thibodeau might be, but I'd like to see Evan Neal. Doug Peterson, like I said, I'm okay with. I'm warming up to the idea. Press Taylor, I believe, is our OC.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Am I right? He's 34 years old.
Something like that. So the thing about Press Taylor, he's younger than me. Yeah. The thing about Press Taylor is was the QB coach for Carson Wentz.
Right.
That noticed all of his issues and didn't fix them.
Maybe he wasn't allowed to.
That's what but he was under Doug Peterson. So what makes you think it's going to change again?
Right.
So I think it's a red flag there. I think that's something to keep in mind of. I did some reading on Press Taylor because I heard that there were some connections between him and Carson. Yeah. And that's what I read was Press Taylor did not fix any of the mechanical issues that Carson had, which is what he came to Indy with, and they had to basically reteach him how to do a lot of things. Right. So I think that's something to be very well aware of because that's very scary.
Well, let's hope, with a couple years under his belt, he's maybe learned a little bit more because, man, I mean, he's the offensive coordinator, so I'm hoping we'll have a passing coordinator or a quarterbacks coach that'll help with those. So we'll see. He's still building out his coaching staff, but
So I never realized that Press Taylor and Zach Taylor were related.
Brothers. Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and Zach Taylor was the quarterback coach for Jared Goff when they went to the Super Bowl.
Yep. Sound
Oh,
very.
learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's a
And
sign.
I guess other news for the Jaguars. Tony Baselli finally got inducted in the Hall of Fame.
About
So,
time.
let's
We
go.
got a Jaguar.
Let's go.
Fred Taylor, you're next,
Oh,
baby. You're next.
congratulations, man.
Fred Taylor, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think he might actually get in? I mean,
He
he's
should.
almost he's
He
like
should.
top
He
15
deserves it.
statistically.
He deserves it, man.
It'll
I
be
don't-
Fred
yeah.
Taylor, and then because I know Jimmy Smith's been calling for it for a while. I would love to see Jimmy Smith in there, but I think
Well,
it'll be
here's the
Fred
problem.
Taylor.
Here's the problem with Jimmy Smith making. Oh, I agree with you. I want to see him in there. But me and Haris already talked about this in the chat. The list for the receiver to get on is like
Yeah.
this long.
There's so
Like,
many good
Oh, yeah,
receivers.
it-
and
Jesus
it keeps
Christ.
getting added onto it.
Well,
So,
I mean,
Man, you see the receivers that didn't make it for this Hall of Fame. It was literally
Yeah,
like
Torrey
Torrey
Holt.
Holt, Reggie Wayne. Like I'm like
Andre
what?
Johnson.
Yeah.
And Devin Hester, even though he's not a wide receiver, but he's like he's more of a special teamer. But,
well,
like,
and
it's
remember
like, wow.
we had Jimmy Smith on this podcast, and he was talking about it. It's
Yeah.
also like how your team,
represents you right. I agree with
right?
that too.
So I think it's time for the Jaguars to move on and get Freddie T and Keenan McCardell and Fred Taylor on those lists and push them.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing so much. I mean, Baselli's always been like team Jaguars, no matter what they're doing. He never speaks out against them where the other guys don't. I actually think I accidentally started a rumor about Keenan McCardell, by the way, too.
Jesus
Where'd
Christ.
it go?
What the hell?
We're coming back to the Jags.
Well, yeah. Did you see my post?
Yeah.
I posted a picture of Keenan McCardell, and I put like in the captions and quotes like, "Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. I was wrong, and I just can't live without you." And I tagged the Jaguars. All these people started writing congratulations under it that are like his family and stuff because I'm friends with them on Facebook. I was like,
no.
"Oops, my bad.
That's funny.
Sorry, Keenan.
Why is it always you that gets into social media trouble for the wrong reasons?
I don't get in social media trouble. All I had was Yan blocking
Attention.
me, and what's his name? Your boy from the Colts.
Mathis.
Oh, Mathis? Yeah.
Another one I guess.
You also had
still-
a whole an article. on
Which
it.
Robert Mathis, if you're listening, you still need to come on this podcast and explain what you said prior to the season starting, because
Yeah. Also, Robert, if you need a coach, if you need a coaching gig and you're bored, we need a D-line coach because our last one was shit. Sorry, this wasn't the Colts time. My bad.
Yeah. And I'll say one more thing about the coaching search. I'm glad we didn't go with Leftwich. I'm probably one of the few Jaguars fans that's not happy, but I would have liked him there, I guess, as a fan. But I think X's and O's, like, we really need somebody. I'd hate to say it, but like a safe pick.
Yeah, somebody with
Leftwich.
experience, because we
Right.
already did that and it didn't work.
Right. So I mean,
Yeah.
Leftwich, I'm sure he's got a good track record with Tom Brady, right? But who's not going to have a good track record with Tom Brady? I did like that Bruce Arians trusted him with the offense and said that he wouldn't trust anybody else with calling the offensive play. So that was a plus with Leftwich. But again, I think it's just so crucial to get the coach right with Trevor Lawrence that I get why they went with Doug or Peterson. I'm still bummed out that we have the GM, but I guess with the VP in place. But I still just don't get it. Like, why doesn't Shad Khan like you shouldn't let the fans make the decision for you? But when the fans don't want him, coaches don't want to coach with him. I mean, there's just got to be a point where
Actually, my
gotta
husband,
right.
who doesn't watch football, made a very good point. They need to start listening to what the fans say, so then that way, when it all falls apart, they have no one to blame but themselves. I was like, it's a good point. That's a good point, actually. We should do that.
So, but it's
Well-
just like, he's like, I'm going to keep him, but I'm going to hire somebody to babysit him. Like, you're admitting that he doesn't need to be here.
Who knows? I don't know if there's a contract and they're already owe money to Urban. I mean, I guess.
I mean, what nudie pictures does he have is what I'm wondering. That's probably what it is. But
yeah, from what I understand, Tony Khan got half the team as like part of his birthday present and isn't a fan. So there's got to be something there. I'm sure it'll get leaked to the press by Balky because that's what he does. So we'll find out. To be continued. Anything else before we get on to the Tex Homes?
Nope.
That's it. That's good. I like it.
Mhm.
You know what? That's the best news. See, you said nudies. That's the best news we've heard from Jaguars camp in a long time. So
Yeah.
thank you, Matt. We appreciate that.
Seems
All right.
like y'all got big things coming.
Matt Briggs, you guys also got a head coach. Give us the Deshaun Watson update. give us like a low key quick. Well, you guys already went over the DeAndre Hopkins. I know he's not a Texan, but by proxy.
Right.
And what's been going on with the Texans before we?
Well, Deshaun Watson, real quick on that. He's going to trial, or not trial, but having a hearing in this month. So that will play a big factor on whether we trade him or what we trade him for. But yeah, all signs is that Nick Caserio don't care if he wants to play or not. He's done. He's out of here, which is good. We got Lovie Smith. I'm happy about the pick. I'm just not happy about the way he did it. Nick Caserio did it. It was a shit show. Like he wasn't even on your list, and then at the last minute, because you didn't want the media, the fans to hate you for hiring Josh McCown, you picked Lovie Smith. Which I get that's why he did it. Especially.
You mean he actually listened to his fans?
Well, not just that. I think the NFL had something to do with it because of the whole Brian Flores lawsuit. I think the NFL kind of stepped in and said, "Hey, look, you can't do this." So I think that's why they went that route. Who knows? Nobody was there except for who was there. So who knows why?
Is Easterby still present?
Yes, he is still.
Well, then that explains everything.
Well,
that's
probably
probably
is Easterby was against McCown. He wanted Brian Flores, but again, who knows?
But Brian Flores wants Deshaun Watson. So then is Easterby standing with Watson?
There's people say that Flores doesn't want Watson. There's people saying he does. The only thing they have in common is the same agent.
Because I know the day the Dolphins announced that they were firing Brian Flores, they were like, "We are firing him. By the way, we don't want Deshaun Watson."
Well, yeah, because they fired him. They fired him because him and Tua got into it.
Right, because he wanted Deshaun Watson.
Right.
So
I don't know. We'll never find out. Probably till next year.
Yeah.
But, I'm happy that we got Lovie Smith. I think it was a great move. Hopefully he doesn't get fired like Coley did this year, because there's rumors that he is going to be another gap bridge for Josh McCown. So I hope that's not true. But the dude has a proven track record, over 500 in his career. Went to a Super Bowl with Rex Grossman as your quarterback. So I'm happy. I think.
Didn't you guys go to the playoffs with Osweiler?
Yes, with Osweiler.
That doesn't really say anything.
Yeah, playoffs and the Super Bowl are two different things, though.
True. Fair enough.
I would take that. Plus, we got Pep Helmington as OC. I'm really excited for that. Lovie Smith is going to be the DC, quote unquote. So
he's pulling a Bill O'Brien and taking on multiple roles.
Well, he's pulling a Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips did the same thing in Dallas, and Mike Zimmer did the same thing his first year in Minnesota. I think his son is going to be a big role as the DC, but they have enough problems down there in Houston. He didn't want to create more, so he didn't name his son defense coordinator. So I think that's why he went that route. But that's my Clint House theory.
Conspiracy hat.
Yeah. But unlike the Jags where everybody has a clown profile, we have Greg Beard's profile for Lovie Smith. So it's positive. I'm glad to see some positive in a negative storyline. So I'm happy.
Look at that. The Texans and Jaguars lost hope, but they're ending the season with faith.
Right.
This sounds very cognizant of last year.
And going back to
this is where it all begins.
Going back to what you're saying for Lawrence,
Yeah.
The best rookie quarterback this year was the Houston Texans, Davis Mills.
Huh?
Yeah, best rookie out of the AFC South was Houston Texans.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that. I thought you meant in the NFL.
Oh, damn. Did somebody retire? I didn't hear that.
I said rookie. So,
but
yeah.
not in the NFL.
No.
In the AFC South.
You gotta give it to Mac Jones. He had more
I was
touchdowns,
Mac
going to
Jones.
say, yeah.
but their numbers are pretty close. But Mac Jones just has a little bit more touchdowns, plus a lot more games,
And a better roster to play with.
and a way better coaching staff
And ownership.
And organization.
And
And
they have the
organization.
great coach of
He
all
just-
There's
time.
no
Okay.
and that.
He knows how to stay out of the media. Yeah, he's pretty bad himself.
I mean,
Him and Deshaun would get along very well.
at least he's being honest.
Oh, true.
Hey,
At least
I
he's
got a quick
forthcoming.
question.
Forthcoming.
I got a quick question. So I hate to bring this back to my team, but what should I expect from Tim Kelly?
Garbage.
Torture.
Garbage.
I mean,
Run
he's
play,
not even
run
an
play.
offensive coordinator. Like he's a pass coordinator. Like
Yeah.
You're going. It's going to be run play. You're going to be down third and 13, and you're going to pass, and it's going to be a screen, and it's going to get you negative yards. That's what you're going to get, Tim Kelly.
Well, that's good to hear that Derrick Henry is going to get a lot more plays.
Right.
yeah.
So
yeah,
remember
just like
wanting to
Derrick
say
Henry's
Derrick
gonna run for
Henry from a
2,000.
foot injury? Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well,
Garbage.
Harish,
Derrick Henry's
I
gonna be on
know.
the IR.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Again,
Jesus Christ.
Harish, I know you. We'll go ahead and wrap this thing up, but I know that you commented a little bit on the Colts earlier, but I can't go sign off without mentioning the Colts. Do you have anything else to add to your rant from earlier?
Yeah, we have a defensive coordinator. We'll see what staff he puts together. I really want the D-line coach from the Rams. Like I said earlier, winning football games now is about quarterbacks, getting to the quarterbacks and weapons. Look, they're going to look at it was rumored that yesterday that they are trying to trade Carson Wentz. Funnily enough, and we're going to throw a conspiracy theory out there, immediately after there was a report that the Seahawks are shopping Russell Wilson.
I mean, we knew that though.
so-
Russell Wilson is shopping away from the Seahawks. But
I think this is the Ballard aggressive moves that we're talking about. I think this is the offseason. This is Ballard's last chance, in my opinion. He has to go all out this year. He's got to go get. Not only got to get a quarterback if he can find what he's looking for. If he does or he doesn't, he needs to go get some weapons. I'm tired of not spending money in free agency. It's
This
clearly
is the fifth year of 5 different quarterbacks, right?
Five quarterbacks in 5 years. Yeah. Which again, part of it is, it's impressive that you've been able to stay in the mix with that, because that's a hard thing that's a lot of teams that have that scenario aren't going 9-8 or 10-7 or whatever we've done. So clearly he can build a team, right? Ballard's got to take some risks. You've got to find a way to get yourself over the hump, right? This is now year 6 for Ballard. You've got a team that's staring you in the division that's not going to get any worse. Like, I don't think Tennessee is going to get any worse.
I thought you were talking about the Jaguars because
somehow
you can't beat them.
No, you remember
we can beat them. We just can't beat them in
league.
Jacksonville. The only thing we can't do is beat them in fucking Florida, which is weird as shit. Like, I still can't. That still blows my mind. Trevor Lawrence. Look, if they can get the right team around Trevor Lawrence, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be amazing. But again, you can't. There's just too much talent in the AFC to not take risks. You can't continue to rely on your draft. He's done that for 4 years. You've built your core. Now go make some moves to get yourself over the hump. And anything less than a division title and a playoff win or two next year is not good enough for me next year. If that doesn't happen, I think Reich needs to go, and then Ballard needs to be put on the hot seat. Like, I think there needs to be real pressure on Reich and Ballard to get something done, because Jim Irsay is tired of it. Like, I think he's been patient. Understand, you build a culture, you build a roster, you've done that. And I think the Rams are the perfect piece, the perfect team of saying they've done both, right? They had a solid core, Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp. They've built their core and they went and made, they've given up draft capital to go take some risks. Jalen Ramsey.
I would have
Matt
laughed
Stafford.
if they spent all of that to not execute it. I would have.
Von Miller, like they've done their fair share of both, and I think that's what you need to do. So if Ballard is not active this year in free agency, I've been patient. If he's not active this year, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be livid. Like I'm gonna be super pissed. Like fire Ballard pissed, like kind of bullshit. Because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of not winning. We haven't won the division and damn near 10 years, and for most of that 10 years the rest of the division's been mediocre to shit. Like it's not like it's only been really competitive for the last 3 to 5 years, right? It's not acceptable to me. I'm just tired of it. So that's my rant for the Colts. Oh, and Colts fans, please stop saying that we're not gonna trade anybody. If Ballard, if Jim Irsay wants it to happen and Quentin Nelson needs to be traded to make a trade happen, or Ryan Kelly needs to happen. Listen, the Bengals just got there with the worst offensive line I think I've seen in my existence of life in 32 years. And I've seen some pretty bad O-lines. If they can make it to a Super Bowl with that, we don't need $90 million stuck on the offensive line. Or whatever insane amount we have.
Well, Harish, I always appreciate your rants. Guys, we thank you for tuning in. We are going to take a couple week hiatus because obviously there's nothing going on, and pick this back up. Make sure you guys tune in. I know it's off season, but we have a lot of guests coming back that you guys saw, some familiar faces. We actually talked to Trey Smith about this before, so we're going to work on scheduling for him to come back on because he's entering the draft this year. So I'd love to get his take of like the road to the draft kind of thing. Love having him on. Make sure in the meantime that you guys join Prize Picks. Use promo code FBSN. That stands for Fan Battle Sports Network. They are a new sports betting app. It's way better than DraftKings. Harish, our own commentator this evening, has won lots of money on there. It's very user-friendly. Once again, Prize Picks, FBSN. You can find all of our commentators on social media. You can find Matthew Gree for the Jaguars at Matthew G Sports. You can find me at Sammy Football with an I. Harish Nicola for the Colts at the Uncle Gandhi. Matt Briggs for the Texans at Cancel Tim Kelly. Which are you going to change that handle?
I'm going to have to since he's canceled me.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
I don't want people to think I'm a Titans fan. That's the last thing I need.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And you can find RJ Ellison in the AFC South Fan Battle group trolling all of the other teams' fans. And is it on Twitter?
Yeah, that's actually my Instagram. I'm actually gonna get into doing this a little bit more. This is
come join us. We always need Titans fans.
Yeah, come flick out with the rest of your fan. I mean, come join us.
Just like the Titans in playoffs, y'all fans just disappear. So
yeah, they do for sure.
You know me, I don't mind getting on here, but if I am busy, I will let y'all know. If I'm busy doing homework or if I'm busy, and not on the game or something, I'll do a lot of games.
Oh, we always we'll get with you after. We always schedule them ahead, and so we know our commentators and swap them out. So we'll get with you after.
Definitely let us know if you're busy on a day y'all lose, because apparently your entire fan base is.
That is true. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in this evening, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Peace.
Bye.